All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are here for day 2 of Level Up Lead Gen, and we are talking all about how free equals paid today. Probably one of the biggest things I do here in the space of both my sleep consulting business and the business coaching, which is a part of what you're going through right now, is giving away a lot of stuff for free because it helps people to, one, build a know, like, and trust factor with you, two, show people that I know what I'm talking about, and three, help people because if the things I teach for free solved your business struggles, frankly, you didn't need to hire me. And I've always had that philosophy for a decade now in my sleep coaching agency as well. I see too often people just trying to crowbar in the sale and get that person to convert and be a client. And I'm like, that is not ethical at all in the way I practice my business. If I can teach you something in 5 minutes that's going to fix your child's sleep struggle or your business issue that you're really struggling with, then I would never ask you to pay for that. And building that type of business and that type of relationship has been a huge game changer for me. So as we kick off into today, I'm going to teach you all about why and the type of things that I do for free to build content, because as we talked about yesterday, everything is a big funnel. At the top, you've got a pool of people that need your services, right? They may not want the services yet, but they need them. And so at the top of that funnel, you have to figure out how you're going to take that certain number of clients and work them through the funnel so that they become a paying client. At some point, they're going to hit a wall where they go, I can no longer get to success with what I know, right? And I need expert advice. You can use it across any vertical. It doesn't matter if it's sleep coaching a baby, if it's lifting weights, right? My husband goes to the gym every day at 5 a.m. And just last week, he's like, I think I need to change my workout up because I feel like I'm not like getting any more toned. I've been doing this for 40 years and your body adjusts, right? And so he hit a wall and he had to make a change for the change to make a change, right? I say that all the time. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And in my business, what I always try to do is things different and better, as we talked about yesterday, but I do it in a unique way. And so when it comes to the type of free content and the reason I build so much free content, it's because I want to build that value. And in the space of sleep coaching, right, which is where I got started before I became the accidental business coach, there were a lot of ways in which people engaged with me, right? They would take a quiz or they would find me in a group, and I would always ask 3 questions. First, what their name is, so I could build persona with people. It's great if I just got your email address, but I kind of like to know I'm talking to Tracy Benson or someone specifically, not just, tbenson@gmail42.com, right? So it provides a name, which is nice because you get to know people that you see over and over again, right? Second, I ask for their email address, right? If I'm going to send you something, I need your email. And that is if I have earned the right to get that email. Okay. I give away a ton of stuff without needing your email. A lot of my stuff is out on YouTube or out on Instagram, right? Or out in my newsletters for free without you needing to opt in. My blog posts, right? There's enough free content, but that's like the blind date. Like you kind of go out and make sure the person's on a total whack job. And then the next time you're like, hey, let's get coffee because it's not super awkward. It's 8 in the morning. You can be like, peace, I got to go to work, right? And then after that date, you're like, you know what? Happy hour sounds nice, right? And then after that, it's like, oh, maybe we go on a dinner date, right? And you build that relationship from there. And so that's kind of what we're doing when you're working with prospective clients. They maybe found you on Instagram or Googled you or got a referral from somebody. They're not just going right for dinner and dessert, right? They're looking to maybe have coffee first and make sure you're, one, somebody they want to work with, and two, somebody that they really feel aligned with, you know? And so when I ask these questions, first is name, we're building a relationship. Second is email. It's going to take us 10 to 15 times for you to decide you want to move forward to that breakfast date. Okay. That is different than it was years ago. You used to be able to touch somebody like 5 to 7 times to get them to convert. Now, convert is going to look different for everybody. Is it buy a $7 book? Is it book a free discovery call? Is it buy my $300 package? Is it buy my $3,000 package? Right? That is going to look different based on where people are in their buyer's journey. Right? And then the next piece of identifying information I ask is, where are you in the business that you're kind of in, right? So if I was a sleep coach, one of the biggest mistakes I see people get is not ask date of birth. This was such a revelation last year when I did Level Up Lead Gen, right? Even some of the biggest sleep coaching certification programs that I do business mentoring for, they weren't asking date of birth either. So you're not alone. And I'm like, you have like 400,000 people in your list and you have no idea how old their kid is. So you're going to launch a new product now and you don't know who you're launching it to, right? Date of birth is a piece of metadata that is going to tell you where somebody is and whether or not they can still use your services. As sleep coaches, for the first 5 years and maybe even longer, that's a potential client, right? I was Googling this morning. My buddy owns a stucco remediation and home inspection organization. I was trying to look outside the box, right? And I was like, let me look at somebody who's like not a sleep coach or a postpartum doula or a fitness instructor or whatever, all these different types of people I mentor. Let me just Google his website, right? Well, first it came up that it was not secure. So it's HTTP, not HTTPS. Okay, that's a problem. Number two, his domain authority is like a 7, right? And he's one of the top stucco remediation guys in the entire state of Pennsylvania, and one of the few in the country that's certified to do specific types of testing on stucco. If you're from the Northeast, every house is made of stucco, and most of them have water issues, like severe water leakage issues, right? And so I was like going through his site because I was trying to see, like, what do you ask for? What are you looking for, right? And I'm starting to find like all these challenges. Now it's one of my best friend's husbands, so I don't know that I would be like, hey, heads up. But at the same time, I kind of want to be like, hey, heads up, because I don't like poking my nose where it's, not asked. But if it can be at the benefit of somebody helping, right? But you have to look at like, what's that identifiable information? Like, what are you asking for? Are you looking to buy a house, sell a house? Do you have a stucco issue, right? Like you're trying to sub-segment these people. If you have a newborn, that's going to be a different messaging in your email nurtures that we're going to talk about in a couple days than it would be if you have a toddler who's just pissed off to go to bed, right? You're not teaching them how to remove the pacifier or how to flip on their belly or how to wear a sleep suit, right? So you've got to figure out who you're talking to, because when you're trying to speak to everybody with a message that's too generic, it falls flat, right? So your freebies have to help you to segment who the person is you're talking to, what the identifiable challenges that they're facing, and that's reaching them in a way that they care to have found enough value that they offer up their email, because the email is the holy grail. Guys, email you can continue to market to until somebody says, stop talking to me. The problem with social media is the second you stop posting, you're done. Right? That's why I never put all my eggs in the social media basket. I focus on the SEO basket, right? Because as long as I'm doing like one blog post a week and I keep my site clean and I'm managing my backlinks and I'm looking my authority and I'm doing all the things that we teach in the lab to do, right? My authority grows. My searches are beautiful. Showing up, showing up, showing up. Second I stop posting on Instagram, nothing, right? And so many people base their entire business off just one platform, off just one place to do business, off just one thing that was working. Facebook in a month and a half is discontinuing the APIs to their Facebook groups. You know what that means? It's putting a ton of people's companies out of business, legit out of business. Established 6 and 7 figure companies are closing their doors. Why? Because of one change that social media decided to make. So if your entire business is based off of like something that isn't diversifiable, that's a problem. By having a good option of freebies, you're able to capture people, because how often do you change emails, right? Unless your business closes, your email is pretty much going to be what it is, right? I've had the same email since college. I've actually had the same password since college too, which isn't something I'm super proud of, but I'm working on that. So it's like you got to change with the times, because one small change like Facebook just made announcing this year with their APIs is putting people out of business, right? That's a problem. So what I want to teach you today is like, you've got to look at first the type of things you're asking for in your freebies. Are you able to sub-segment who you're talking to? If you're a home inspector, are you sub-segmenting like this person is selling a house or this person is looking to buy a house, right? Are you looking for the fact that you might buy or sell your stucco house and think there might be water damage, right? Are you a sleep coach and are you targeting a newborn? Is the mom expecting? Are they a toddler? Have they fixed their kid's sleep and now their sleep is sacrificing? right? Because they spend 7 hours at TikTok after the kids go to bed, right? You got to know who your audience is so you can speak to them. There is one person I get an email from every week. I don't care when I get it, I make sure I open it, right? She has earned my trust because her message is spot on, right? And I love her emails. She has a bit of dry humor. She's like a no BS type person, right? And I love these emails that she puts out. And she's not consistent. I wouldn't say it's every week, but whenever I see one of her name drop into my inbox, I always open it, right? Vice versa, when I see some drop in and I'm like, delete, okay, right? I'm trying to be for you guys the one that you want to open. And so what I've started to do now is come up with, just different things. I'm launching a new podcast to give you business information. So I'm not just doing it here in Level Up Lead Gen, but also so I can give you like nuggets that each day you can kind of build on your business with these little tactical trainings, as I'm calling them. Okay. With freebies, how are you getting to people, right? Because I use a variety of different freebies depending on what I'm doing. You have the standard email opt-in where you email somebody back like a PDF or a guide or a grocery shopping checklist or one of the things, right? Then the next thing you have is like a quiz, right? Put these 3 things in and I'll tell you why your baby's not sleeping through the night. Okay. Then you have the like comment Courtney and I'll send you my guide on why Courtney's the best business coach in the world, right? That's like a ManyChat, it's called, is something very common that most people use now on Instagram. Comment tree, and I'll send you a picture of how to grow big, healthy trees, like the one they just cut down in my backyard this morning. Poor thing. ManyChat is great, right? That's a way to engage, grow following, get people to connect, and do it in an easy way for them so you're not taking them out of a platform, which these social media companies don't want, right? So you've got an ebook, okay, like a white paper, a guide, a freebie, etc. Then you've got a quiz. That could be a schedule generator. That is my number one freebie on the sleep consulting side of my business, is that schedule generator, right? And all it does is ask people questions. And then at the end, it emails them all the schedules based on age. But I just learned a whole bunch about that person. Why? Because they want the schedule. So they tell me things that they think are relevant. It's not, it's really based on age, right? And what that schedule should look like for the age. Okay. That's my number one freebie. And so there's the white paper, the schedule, systems like ManyChat, which are specifically designed for sites like Instagram to drive engagement. Engagement yields the algorithm showing you to more people, but also it's an easy way for you to then drop them a PDF or a link to a website or something that you're trying to share, right? Then you can look at videos, right? I use a really neat tool that allows people to engage with me. And I go, hi, Courtney Zentz here, the founder of Tiny Transitions. Tell me, how can I help you today? And it's such a slick technology and it provides immediate engagement. And I can do it like I do it a lot with pediatricians or some of the schools I work with in the different school districts, right? It gives people a chance to meet me for that coffee date, like I talked about at the beginning. We're not going straight to dessert. We're still in the like, have some coffee and get the hell out of here if you're crazy type of relationship. So it allows people to go, oh, she's a real person. I'll tell you a story. I have a son, Max. He is almost 10. He'll be 10 in April. And for 3 years, I sat at soccer with him when he was like 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then he started playing travel soccer. And during those 3 years, it was the same dad who was coaching. And I'm friends with them. They live in the neighborhood next door. Okay. And I sat next to this woman whose daughter was also there because the father coached the girls and the boys, right? So they were always there at the same time, always had the same practices. And I sat next to her. I didn't really know what she did other than she was a pediatrician, but I didn't know if it was private practice. I didn't get into it. Yes, I'm a sleep coach. It was the perfect opportunity to like network, right? I didn't. Until one day I wore a Tiny Transitions hat that I had made on Etsy, right? Tiny Transitions, pediatric sleep coaching or whatever I said, right? With my little elephants. She looked at me one day. She goes, what's your name? What do you do? And I was like, wow, this got awkward really fast. Like, we've been acquaintances for 3 years and we've talked every single week at practice for 3 years, but I never brought it up. And I was like, Courtney Zentz, Tiny Transitions. He's like, I've been sending people to you for years. I Googled you and made sure you weren't a lunatic, and your name's on a Post-it note in my office. That's how I got pediatrician leads from a very prominent pediatrician that I sat next to for 3 years and never mentioned who I was or what I did, because I don't like to blur boundaries, guys. When people find me through my subtle messaging of a sweatshirt or a hat, it makes the conversation a little less awkward, because I know sometimes I don't want to talk about business, right? I've just been up since 5 a.m. I'm working all day. Like, the last thing I want to do is talk about business. But lo and behold, my hat was like, oh my gosh, you're a real human and you're awesome, because I've known you for 3 years, right? And I get a ton of referrals from her. I get a ton of referrals from other pediatricians because of her. And I know what I'm doing. And you know what she said? I Googled you and made sure you weren't a lunatic. Woo, good vetting, right? Like, that's the reality of it, guys. Like, you just kind of never know how you're going to find these people. So Video Ask is the technology that I use. And if I could find it, I'll pop it out into the Facebook group and just show you a sample of kind of how I do things. I don't want to deviate from this right now and try to grab the URL. But it's something pretty cool, because you can, in about an hour, sit there and go, hi, I'm Ashika. Nice to meet you. Tell me, how can I help you today? I'm looking for corporate coaching. I'm looking for sleep coaching. I just wanted to meet you. I'm looking for all your freebies. Can I set up a discovery call? Great. You want to set up a discovery call? Here's a link to my calendar. I work every single day to bring healthy sleep habits into the home, and I look forward to talking to you, right? I did one where it was like, tell me a little bit about why you're here today. Short naps. Short naps suck. Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about how old your baby is. Oh, 9 months. Okay. Well, at 9 months, they should be on 2 naps at this point with a 3-hour wake window. So let's start with schedules. Comment here if you want my schedule, or book a call here and I'll happily talk to you about sleep coaching if you're ready to fix your sleep, right? So it kind of like, I was speed dating in a way, guys. It didn't take up time on my calendar, which is limited for discovery calls, right? I can only do 2 or 3 new discovery calls a week. I'm busy. So if you don't want to wait for like a week or two, this is a good way to speed date. Okay. And then what's the right program? My $47 Sleep Steps course and community with coaching, or my $1,000 private sleep coaching package for 3 weeks, right? There's realities to the cost differential and what people are getting out of that. Okay. So all of these different systems, when you look at freebies, you've got to figure out who you're talking to, in what market, and what they're looking for. All right. Because it's not always easy. It's just like, download my 7 tips for better sleep tonight. Guess what? Every sleep coach uses the same thing. It's the exact same template they got when they certified, and all of you are using the same thing. So you got to look at, to our conversation yesterday, Tracy, specifically on your business, right? I was thinking of you last night in the shower in like not an awkward way, but I was like, you know what she should do? It would be, if you're thinking of like 6 to 12 months, right? And you're trying to niche in on that, it would be 5 exercises you should be doing with your 9-month-old to ensure they sleep better and hit their milestones, right? Because every parent's worried about sleep and the fact their kids got to hit their milestones, right? So if you could come up with like a creative little like site seller that was just 5 exercises that you showed them how to do, right? Pick up the pacifier, put it in their mouth. Pick up the pacifier, put it in their mouth. Stand up in the crib, sit down in the crib. Stand up in the crib, sit down in the crib, right? 5 little exercises in a little white paper that you flip somebody, totally different, right? Than 7 tips to get your baby to sleep through the night. Nothing wrong with it. I used the same one for 5 years, but you know what the problem with that is? 500 other sleep consultants use the same one too, right? Guys, I have probably 50 freebies. I've also done this for 10 years, and I have 8 people on my team who all have different specialties, and we all do different things, right? So it's not to say you need 50. I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but come up with a couple. I have a quiz. I have something specific. I have an ebook. I have a site seller. I have a sample thing. I have a and frankly, all the stuff that every other sleep consultant charges like $7 for, I give away for free. Right? Because it builds value. If your kid is taking short naps, will not settle without being held, is on the wrong schedule, you can't get more than a 45-minute nap out of them, chances are, guys, they're an ideal client. So while they're only talking to you about naps, the likelihood is, because their kid's not settling well for naps and they're over 5 months of age, there is something else going on. Same with early wakings, guys. Babies don't just wake early because they feel like it. They wake early because their timing's off, they're overtired, or things are mismanaged, right? Educate people on that situation, what's connected to it, And then all of a sudden, parents go, oh, yeah, things are still a mess, right? I cannot stand when people come back to me on social and are like, you don't know what you're talking about. My baby does this thing fine, blah, 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 blah. And we just do all the things we want. And I'm like, guarantee your kid's not sleeping through the night. Sure enough, right? So yeah, you may be able to have this like laissez-faire life and do all these things and have no schedule and have no structure and have no eating and have no this and have no that. But I can tell you, your kid is sleeping terribly. And no, they don't want to go to bed at 9 months old at 11 o'clock at night. Just saying, right? Unless you're in India, which is pretty common that they go to bed late, in which case I add an extra nap in, which is usually around the time of bedtime. Okay. So it's possible, but don't act like your baby's some unicorn, right? So you've got to look at like the space you're working with and then what is going to attract people to want to work with you further. Doesn't matter what you sell, right, guys? I'm doing an 8-day free training where I'm teaching you all of this stuff. Yes, I offer the lab. Am I going to tell you about joining it? Absolutely. I'm a business owner. I'm trying to make money. But at the same time, people are not going to join the lab. You will eventually, or you'll reach out to me for something because I'm building trust with you, right? And the program that I offer is unlike any in the space, right? You can pay $500 a month and get one coaching call and access to a Slack channel with a coach who doesn't actually know business. Sure. Good luck with that. I will still be here when you're ready, right? So I'm building a relationship with you. And that's the thing that you've got to kind of understand in what I'm doing with this level of lead gen. Doesn't matter what your industry is. You're building a relationship with people. And if my freebie solves your problem, then you didn't need to work with me, right? Kaylee Medina, one of the first sleep coaches to join the lab 2 years ago, you know what she said to me? I joined for this one thing in your lab. Meanwhile, I offer like a million. But there was one aspect of knowledge that I joined for. And she goes, you have so far exceeded my expectations in so many other areas of my business that is thriving now because of it. But I only joined for one thing, right? I spent $10,000, guys, on a certification program 2 years ago now to build funnels. I got one freebie, joined a course, watched a 1-hour webinar, and I pulled out my credit card and spent $10,000. Why? Because I saw what I could do with the knowledge I would gain from that certification. Okay. And the term certification is loosely, a marketing term like it is for pretty much every other entrepreneur to be certified to do anything. Right. But I wanted that level of knowledge. Okay. And I paid for it because I valued the upside of what I could earn from that. Absolutely. I'll pay 10 grand. If it means I can make 100 grand in a return in 6 months, then it's worth it, right? People say like, hey, what do you think about paid ads? Well, it depends, right? I paid $3,000 a month for SEO. I do SEO myself now, but for 3 years, I paid $3,000 a month, $90,000, give or take, on SEO only. But the benefit of doing that yielded the results that made me more than that amount of money, right? So with anything where you're spending money, you have to spend money, right? With what you're spending money on, can you reap a reward from that investment? Okay. So yes, you're going to spend a day building 5 freebies, but those 5 freebies might add 100 people to your funnel. If you have a 5% conversion, you just got 5 new sleep clients or 5 new discovery calls. You close half, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you get 3. 3 times 7 is $2,100. 3 new clients that week, right? You want to have a 10 grand month. That's how you do it, right? You want to have a 2 grand month, right? Everybody's in this for different reasons. I have people on my team who want 1 client a month. Hired them 4 years ago for that exact reason. 1 client a month. I have people on my team who want to replace hefty $250,000 salaries. Okay, here's how you achieve that, right? You can't just sit here and wait like Field of Dreams. And I think the problem is in every one of the spaces of entrepreneurship, we are sold a dream. More freedom, more flexibility, more financial incentive, more ability to travel the world, whatever your why is for getting into this business, it is not free, my friends. Okay. So you've got to look strategically at how you build that funnel and how you get people in. We talked a little bit about yesterday, red ocean, blue ocean. Okay. Sleep consultants, as an example, and I use them a lot, but it's really because that's where I came from, right? But it's applicable to any personal trainers, sleep consultants, right? people who are Instagram coaches. The reason that they're trending so well is because they're all doing the exact same thing, and they know on Instagram that you're trying to grow on Instagram. So they prey on the people who are trying to grow, which is everybody. They're like, I grew my account to 100,000 people in 30 days. Like, that's impossible to do, right? Unless you're finding the niche of everybody needs this because everybody's trying to grow on Instagram, right? So they're very smart in what they're doing, but it doesn't matter. You've got to look at red ocean opportunity versus blue ocean. I touched on it yesterday a little bit, right? Sleep consultants are becoming red ocean. There's a ton of them. Everybody thinks that it's the easiest job in the world. They can pay $5,000 to $10,000 to get certified. And even that market's getting diluted, right? You've got tons of sleep coaches. Now you've got tons of people who did the sleep coaching for a couple years, realized what it was, and then went, you know what? Instead of working with one client for 600, I can train 10 clients for 5,000 each and make 50,000 bucks for a 3-day live training where I teach them to be certified sleep coaches. I have nothing vested in their success. And then moving on, I have 50 grand. They may or may not continue as a sleep coach. And I'm going to do it again every 3 months, right? High ticket coaching. So you become a sleep coach, then you become certifying sleep coaches, right? Because that's the next level up. And then you offer business coaching, right? So it's interesting because the market of sleep coaching is becoming very saturated, right? Because everybody and their mom now offers certifications or wants to be a sleep coach because they think it's like this beautiful career. And it is. But make no mistake, my friends, I'm up at 5 a.m. every day building this company to be what it is. So you got to look at blue ocean, red ocean. Okay. I see a blue ocean opportunity and I'll tell you where it is. In my business coaching, I know how to do something called data scraping. I can build a list for you and give you every single pediatrician in the entire state of Wisconsin in a single request and hand it to you in an Excel spreadsheet. Call these people, right? People don't know how to do it. I get paid handsomely from corporations to do it because they don't know how I do it. And I give them a list and I go, here's for your reps to call. Because right now they're all sitting there on Zoom info going, who's the environmental specialist at DuPont? Let me get his phone number. Great. Congratulations. You called 10 people today. If you had the list, you could call 100, right? Productivity, my friends. That is something I know how to do that nobody else does. Blue ocean opportunity. You have to look at your business and go, what do I do that's different? Nutritionists, meal planners, physical therapists, right? Personal trainers, organization coaches, sleep coaches. Doesn't matter. What is the thing that makes you be a leader in the space? I will never be like any other sleep consultant. They will never be me. I will never be like any other business coach. They will also never be me. Okay. You have to find the blue ocean opportunity with your freebie to attract the ideal person. And that's going to take some work, my friends. You've got to sit and go, what am I uniquely positioned to teach? Where do I love teaching, right? Because if you're really good at newborns, but you hate working with them, don't go after that market because you're going to resent your clients, right? You don't want to resent your clients. So you got to find somebody that lights you up. Working with parents lights me up. Working with you guys lights me up, right? Working with adults doesn't light me up. Why? Because they don't want to change behavior. So I'll offer sleep coaching for adults, but I do it for like 2 phone sessions and that's it. You got to put your phone away and stop getting drunk every night. Let's start there, right? But people don't want to change. So it's been really hard. And a lot of my friends who still coach adults, they're like, oh, we're done with this because people don't want to change. They don't want to stop watching TV or drinking alcohol or having caffeine or, going out partying every night of the week, right? After work for happy hour. So that's a market that I don't choose to go after, right? You got to isolate who you want to go after. Then you got to niche in. What's the blue ocean opportunity for you to be different? Okay. Different, better. That's what I'm always trying to do. I will not be like any other sleep coach. Our consultants are not like any other sleep coaches. My business coaching is not like anyone else's, right? Because I'm trying to be different and I'm trying to help people truly build the business that they wake up to feel joy doing. Because if you don't, you're not going to want to do it. I talk to sleep coaches that are like, I am burned out. Okay. Well, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? I like to blog. I really like doing the back end office stuff. Okay, well, why don't you help the new sleep consultants set up their books and manage their monthly books and optimize their process or write their blogs for them or help them with emails, right? Some of the stuff that new coaches don't know how to do because they're inexperienced and they lack the knowledge outside of what's given to them because it comes with time. It just comes with time. You know what I mean? Like you got to find like what's that niche that you can kind of jump into and really expand upon. And then build your content around that niche to be the leader in the space, right? That's what people want. They want to find a leader that motivates them, right? People all the time are like, you are so energetic. And I feel so empowered every time I watch you or listen to you or learn something new. And I like totally appreciate that, guys, because everything's in my head. And every time I do these sessions or I go out and teach a live or like I jump on live today at 1 o'clock with Nurani, it's a baby swaddle. I'm jumping on their Instagram. They've got a couple 100,000 followers. No idea what I'm going to say. Don't know what questions I'm going to get asked. Not really sure. I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be fun. And I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I have confidence. Confidence is what people want. Confidence I can help you with your baby. People will buy from you, not your packages. They're important. They buy from you. You're the value. They buy from the value and the quality of your content. They buy from your confidence, right? That's what people want ultimately when they're deciding who they want to work with. Okay. So it's all about building the type of business that lights you up with freebies that people find value in, right? And then using those freebies to nurture those people, which we're going to talk about later this week, right? Nurture those people through to the conversion. What's the conversion event? Is it booking a call? Is it joining Sleep Steps? Is it downloading my PDF? Is it just giving me your email, right? What's the call to action, right? You could spend $7 on an ad per person, right? To get that person to convert, $7. Well, if the cost of your program is $47 and it costs $7 to convert, would you still run that ad? Hell yeah. I'm up $40 every time somebody converts. So I'll tenfold spend on ad conversions, right? If it's converting. You got to figure out where you want to focus to grow your business. Don't try to be a jack of all trade and master of nothing, right? I tried to be everywhere in all these different places for all the different things I do because I love being on camera. I love doing live trainings. I love doing email. I'm great at writing blogs. I have an also, you know what, guys, at the end of 2023, I was like, I'm shutting it down. It's easier for me to go make $250,000 working as a marketing director at a company and call it a damn day. 40 hours a week. I'm done. Bye. But you know what I am? Working for the man again. And I don't want to do that. Could I do it? Sure. I had a job offer last week, full-time, CMO. Don't want it. If you want me to do some consulting, great. I want nothing to do with working full-time for someone else. I built this business because I love it, but it gives me freedom and flexibility, right? And I get to choose who I want to work with and what I want to niche into. You got to do the same thing in your sleep coaching business, right? What do you want it to look like? There's going to be a point where whatever your coaching is, you have to niche in, and then you have to figure out how you're going to scale it. Is it growing a team? Is it launching a course, right? Because at some point you're going to max out on the number of clients that you can handle. That's the biggest problem with coaches, right? Because you only have so much space, and private coaching takes time. That's what happened to me. I ran out of time. So I also capped my income because I couldn't physically handle any more clients, but I also couldn't be $5,000, nor did I want to be for private coaching. So I had to change, adjust, and scale. Sleep Steps, that filled a need in the market on a personal level for me that every family could get sleep coaching that they needed. And then my higher ticket private coaching for those people that did want me for the year and understood the value that that provided at a concierge level, right? So you got to dig deep and figure out, like, in your business, what do you want to niche into, right? Talked about personal trainers, right? I just was looking in the scale this morning when I got dressed. I'm like, oh, I'm skinny, right? I don't want to be, but I have a hard time keeping weight on. Like, so it was another reminder this morning in the mirror, like, I got to find a personal trainer who can help me put some weight on, right? It's really hard. I don't have a stomach. I don't have a gallbladder. I can eat, but it's hard for me. So I lose weight, and that's hard because most people are trying to lose weight. I'm trying to gain weight, right? All I want to desperately do is donate blood. So I have to work with the right person who is going to help me live my best life, keep my body healthy, and help me put weight on, right? So I'm very specific in who I choose to work with. Be the specific. Find the person who struggles with the one thing and be the expert of that thing. Others will see that and they'll go, I know you work with this, but can you help over here? Right? Yeah. That's what you got to think about. Okay, so I want you to kind of take a pause, and as we get through the rest of the next couple of days, right, we're going to talk about all of this, and I'm trying to build each day on like, what does your freebie look like? What is your freebie leading into? Right. And I want to do an exercise. I did it last year as well. And it's very helpful because I don't think people think about their businesses this way. Okay. I want you to get a piece of paper. I'm going to get one myself, and I'm going to get a trusted Sharpie. Okay. So what I want you to do is grab a blank piece of paper or write it down on a notebook, or come back and do it later if you're like listening and you're in the car, right? You're going to build a wedding cake. Okay. On the bottom here is going to be the free tier. What are you offering? Okay. So that is your value ladder, is what it's called. Okay. So your value ladder is going to be freebies, right? Is it going to be a quiz? Is it going to be a white paper? Is it going to be a demonstration? Is it going to be a free audit? Like, it depends on what you sell, right? And you're going to have all your freebies here that are going to feed to essentially what's next on the value ladder scale, which is an LTO. Okay. An LTO stands for a low ticket offer, right? Taking them from free to a paid call, even though the call's free, guys, is a win. And I'll tell you why. Because those people were willing to set aside precious time of theirs to talk to you about your services. So even though it's kind of a $0 offer, it's still the next level up in the value ladder. But it could be something like, hey, if you're a busy mom, it could be a $7 ebook for meal prep and planning with kids in school. I just did a session on this yesterday in Sleep Steps, and I showed everybody how I like go out each Sunday and get my grocery list sorted, get my meal prep planned for the week, go to the grocery store, how I do it, how I look at recipes, how I try to make food that kind of complements each other. So I'm not cooking a million things every day. That would be a $7 thing I'd be willing to buy because I'm a busy working mom who doesn't feel like cooking for 2 hours every night, right? Low ticket offer. What is that? What problem can you solve for $7 or $17 or $27, right? 7 is a psychology thing around marketing, but just if you always ask like why it's the 7, okay? So then you're going to have the next level up, right? So you're trying to like nurture people up your value ladder. Maybe you have a mini course or a mini call, right? I just need somebody for 30 minutes to tell me how to not lose weight. I know how to lift weights at the gym. I've done it for 25 years, right? If not longer. I need somebody to tell me how to do it in the right order so I don't lose weight, right? I'd be willing to pay. I was using a technology last year. I don't remember what it was. And I was like, for $100, I'll talk with you for 30 minutes because you're going to tell me what to fix. And Kelly was on the call with me. And I was like, here's your $100. Thanks. Here are all my questions. Because it was just easier for me to spend $100 to get 30 minutes to get my questions answered instead of me screwing around for 8 days trying to figure out how to fix it. Right? I see it too often with entrepreneurs. They don't want to spend the $100. Spend the $100 because the $100 you spend for the 30 minutes to get all your questions answered, you can make tenfold in the 8 hours that you're wasting trying to do it yourself. Get outsourced, my friends. Okay. Mini course. 47, 97. Again, it depends. Like we offer mini sessions. They're called focused coaching sessions within our sleep consulting, right? $97. Talk to me for 30 minutes on a single issue. Early waking, short nap. If we get in there and all of a sudden you're like, just kidding, everything sucks. I'm like, all right, cool. We're not going to solve that in 30 minutes, but I will apply your $97 towards private coaching because you need it. Right? So you're basically working people up this value ladder, building trust as they work with you. When somebody first pays money to work with you, it's real easy to sell them up that ladder because they value you. I take such pride in the relationships I build with sleep coaching and with business coaching. There are days I legit don't sleep because I'm like thinking about something that's going on, or I feel touched by something somebody's like looking for, or sad when somebody has a situation happen to them, was like out of their control, and how can I help them? And this sucks and it's unfortunate. Nothing I even had to do with, but just empathy as a person, right? You take people up your value ladder. And then when you have them as a client, they're a client for life in a variety of ways, right? They're going to do retainer coaching. They're going to do referrals. I'm trying to type or write and talk, right? And I'm trying to show you all the different things here that you want to build when you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Okay. You've got your $0 value ladder. These are all your freebies. I probably have 20 at least that are like actively used. I probably have 50 that are just sitting dormant in Canva because I forgot I made them. LTO, low ticket offer, short naps, early wakings, 5 workouts you must do, 5 things you can do for your baby between 6 and 9 months to make sure they hit all their milestones, right? Like you can come up with a million. And if you can't, ask ChatGPT. They'll tell you, right? Mini course, deliverable that can get them to success. You can't have a mini course if they're not going to get to success. Okay. They have to be able to get to success. Then you say, oh, well, if you like that, how about this? Coaching with me. Oh, you want to work with me for another 12 months just in case sleep regressions happen? Sure, that's what this looks like. Oh, and then they refer you. Then they join your affiliate program. And then they help you to post your name on all these places. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you guys build the right relationship, those people will be a fan for life. That's what you got to think about. And it starts with a freebie. Free gives me so many paid clients across all of my businesses because I'm genuine in what I'm trying to do, which is help people. And I think genuine is not something that's very genuine anymore. Sadly, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust business coaches. I don't trust anybody in the space. Like I am really hesitant when it comes to building new relationships with people because everybody's full of it, right? And everybody just wants the quick win or the quick buck. You know, I had a business coach for 2 years. I literally didn't talk to her one time. I spent $24,000 with a business coach that I never got to talk to one time. How much of a bait and switch was that, right? I hired a social media manager once, one and only time in my life. I'm like, I definitely need help with social. I don't have time to do it all. And she was like, okay, it's $1,000 a month, minimum of a 90-day contract. And I was like, all right, cool. I can handle that. Handle my social. The day I paid, she's like, I'm on a plane to Ireland, but you're going to be working with someone on my team. I'm like, I didn't hire to work with somebody on my team. I hired to work with Sinead. And now I'm not working with Sinead. And I like Sinead. And you just pulled a bait and switch on me. And I canceled that day. I was like, when we're done with 90 days, here's your $3,000 and I'm finished with you because you started off the relationship poorly, right? And it happens all the time. I mentioned yesterday, the business coach that sells one program to learn LinkedIn for $5,000. Good for you. I mean, she's selling a boatload of them, but it's like, wow, there's so much more to business than LinkedIn. And that's what I'm trying to do in the lab. Nobody teaches the things I do and the way I do and the amount I do, right? Good luck trying to replicate it. I have confidence in that. You want to go out and try to replicate? Cool, go for it. You won't. You, my friends, regardless of what you sell, have to be that confident. And that comes with experience. It comes with validation that you know what you're doing in whatever your space is. And it comes with the right plan. Start with the freebies and the 7 tips for your baby to sleep through the night that every other sleep consultant is using, or the like free guide, or tell me what your goal is with fitness, or whatever you're selling has to be something that provides value. Because if it doesn't, people aren't going to give you their email. They're not going to opt in and they're not going to want to have a relationship with you. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. I know there's homework coming in out there. I see it out in the Facebook group. So just a reminder, for everyone who completes all of the different homework assignments every single night or during the session, if you're binge watching the replays, which many are, I see the kind of notes coming in that people are going out to catch a replay. What I'm going to do is on Tuesday, I'm going to see who has done the homework every night. And then I'm going to pick a person and reach out to them. And we're going to do a live audit next week on that particular person. For those of you that are catching this now, if you end up watching the replay in 3 months, that won't be happening anymore, but you can still benefit from all the good stuff and the demonstration that we do for the winner. Okay. So my question I leave for you is, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you believe in your freebies, your offers, and what you're selling to people, right? My advice to you is to like take some time and let all of this sink in and go, how could I do it different and better? What is my market position? Where do I want to go after? What do I want to niche in on, right? When you serve to everyone, you're serving no one. You have to speak to the person who you're speaking to. And they go, she gets me, right? So that's what I leave you with. Okay. So the next step is homework and open questions. We got 10 minutes. So let me know if anybody has any questions from today. And Let me just double check and make sure we're still good here with recordings. Yep. Okay, good. So what questions? Ashika, Tracy, anything today that you guys want to ask while we're out here? No? All right. That's all right. I'm always making sure we finished a few minutes early, so it's good. And I'm probably overwhelming to many people. So I apologize for that, but you're going to learn a lot. And so while it's a little overwhelming, you're going to take it and take action on it. And it's going to feel damn good. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Tomorrow is day 3. And where's my schedule? I changed the order and now I'm all screwed up with like what we're doing on each of the different days. So let me get my workbook. And if you don't have that, you'll get that in the replays. And day 3, we are covering content mapping. I'm going to teach you all how I build my beautiful calendar that's sitting over here to the right of me to build content that not only indexes for Google to find, but also is relevant to what your potential clients are searching so that you can rank, whether it's on social or out on your website, to build a new base of people that are constantly coming back and referring you. So thanks so much for tuning in today. We'll see you tomorrow for Content Mapping Made Easy. Don't forget to do your homework and let me know what you think of the session. You can always reach me, Courtney at CourtneyZentz.com via email if you want to tell me a little bit about your experience so far and how I can help. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye, guys.